afternoon and welcome to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. I'm so excited to be with you guys again. It is another fantastic Saturday. And of course, as usual, we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about because tomorrow is the Jamaica Premier League finals. Yes, happening at the National Stadium. Last week, we had the Jamaica Athletics Invitational, and we talk about that. The NBA players are happening. What cricket, lovely cricket, comes to Sabina Park this week, Wednesday. The next week, Wednesday, Friday. Sorry, next week, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's about to be a whole rampack. I mean, we're talking about our athletes in terms of their performance and the NCAA SEC championships. It's a whole. English Premier League ends tomorrow, and the title race is as close as you can get it. I mean, you would want the title race to be any closer than it is. And of course, for the Women's Super League, we got stories from that in terms of our own Khadijah Shaw. And of course, the Women's Super League title winners happened this morning. So we have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots to talk about right here on Sports Talk on the family station Love 101 FM. We do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. And of course, you can join us via WhatsApp. Send us a message. Tell me what you think about all the sporting activities going on. There's track and field. Tell me if you were at the National Stadium or if you watched it. Send me a message at 876-997-3125. Also, tell me if you're I guess I'm gonna go with the Arsenal Manchester City fans. Let me see who is, Arsenal Manchester City. I want to hear from those fans if you think your team has what it takes to win the Premier League tomorrow morning. And I want to hear from those fans. Also, those who are supporting Mount Pleasant or Cavalier in the Jamaica Premier League final. So you so much things, so much fans I want to hear from. Tell me, man, talk up, tell me how it is that you're going, which team you're supporting for these. And of course, the NBA playoffs, they're happening as well. So it has been such an exciting time. Really, the track and field season is kicking into gear, has kicked into gear. Yes, we still haven't seen some of the super athletes with their debut yet for the season, but we're hoping that they will, and they will soon, because guess what? This is now May. So today, May 18, and come next month, we're going to be having trials and just other Diamond League events and events going on. So, I mean, it will be an exciting time. It has been an exciting time. It is, and of course, this is all, in terms of track and field, gearing up to the Olympics. The Racers Grand Prix that's coming up as well next month. So we will be seeing our athletes more and more. So, we're gonna jump right into it. So I'm gonna start with football, yeah? All right. So let's start with the Women's Super League. And for those who don't know what the Women's Super League is, so you have the English Premier League. Yeah, so that it's the women's side to the English Premier League. So this morning, only a few hours ago, Chelsea FC women were crowned Women's Super League champions. Yes, it was close going into I would say close, yes, going into the final day of the Women's Super League, because we had two teams heading into the final day on the same points. Sort of similar situation, just different, I guess, different teams, but similar situation to what is happening on the men's side. So the Women's Super League has also been very competitive this season, yeah. And so going into the final day, there were two sides, two teams that could actually win. And this one, honestly, I was a bit on the fence about because I'm a true Chelsea supporter, whether Chelsea women, Chelsea men, under 18, or anything like that. However, our own Khadija Bunishaw plays for Manchester City, and they too had the chance of winning the Women's Super League. Ended up that Chelsea women actually won, and they won on goal difference. Yeah, because themselves and Manchester City ended the season on 55 points, with Chelsea having a better goal difference of 71 to 61 goals scored for Manchester City. And so I mean, in terms of the results this morning, said Manchester City, they would have beaten Aston Villa women 2-1, while Chelsea would have defeated Manchester United women 6-0. So Chelsea have been crowned the Women's Super League champions of England for this season. However, on a brighter note, and as I said, I was on the fence because our own Khadija Bunishaw plays for Manchester City. So I was on the fence of, who I really, really wanted to win because as I would have announced a few weeks ago, Khadija Shaw, she got injured and would not have been able to participate for this week's games, right, in the Women's Super League. However, she was still even not being able to participate in the remainder games for the season, which was, I think, is just about 2 games. She was named the Barclays Women's Super League Barclays Player of the Season. Yes, Khadija Monisha named the player of the season, and of course she plays for Manchester City, so we want to say congratulations to Khadija Bonisha, and we are hoping that soon and very soon we'll be able again, after her recovery, we'll be able to see her in the Jamaican colors, as well as to be able to see her, playing for Manchester City again, as they will. As she goes into the off season injured, I'm sure she'll be doing the work to, gain her strength and come back next year even bigger and better in terms of when the Women's Super League starts again. So congratulations to Khadija Bonishaw, player of the season for the Barclays Women's Super League. So excited for that. And of course, just showing the dominant force that this young lady is and just how talented she is. All right, so we jump right into that. And of course, we still talk about, so because I started on that note, I'm going to talk about tomorrow's game. So the Premier League, English Premier League, comes to an end tomorrow. And if it were any closer than this, I mean, some persons have already said, well, they think that Manchester City have already walked away with the title. But I'm not so convinced because the ball is still around, anything can happen. Yes, it's advantage to Manchester City, but I mean, I don't expect the Arsenal team to be like, yeah, man, Manchester City has already won. So they're just not gonna, go out and give it their best shot tomorrow. However, I must say that I said this 2 weeks ago. I honestly prefer Manchester City to win the title. I cannot. Arsenal has not won a title in what, 20 years? Yeah, man. We'll keep them trophyless. Another time, Arsenal, because they had the title. Well, not had the title, but Arsenal they've been performing. They up to very close, maybe about January, March of last year, they were in title contention. I mean, they were leading the points table, and then things happen, and then it just went downhill from there. For them, it's pretty much the same thing this year. They drop points, and it's yeah. So in terms of the point standings now going into tomorrow's game, and I'll tell you the games that are on tomorrow, because tomorrow is the final day of the season all the matches will kick off at the same time. All right. So Manchester City, they're currently in first place on 88 points, 2 points ahead of Arsenal. Well, and then you have Liverpool, who have secured their Champions League spot. Aston Villa, they've secured their Champions League spot. And then the other games that we're looking forward to, of the other teams that we're looking to tomorrow, that's going to be Tottenham, Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester United. Those teams are currently in fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth in terms of what they need to do to get into the playing European football tomorrow. So all of those teams are, some teams are at a better advantage, but if some teams lose and some teams win, then in terms of fifth, sixth, seven, eight could be a little reshuffle tomorrow. And then down in the battle of the relegation, it's still not over. I mean, Burnley, Sheffield, yes, they've been relegated from the English Premier League. However, Nottingham Forest, they have to win tomorrow to stay up. Luton will have to win tomorrow and hope that Nottingham Forest loses for them to be up. So right now, in the 18th position, which is the bad position to be in, because it's the teams that finish bottom three. They are the ones that get relegated. So Luton, they're currently in 18th on 26 points, right? They have to win and hope that Nottingham Forest, who is in 17th on 29 points, loses. If not, Luton will be relegated from the Premier League, right? And of course, there is in terms of, there were teams that they lost points in terms of what happened during the season. I just want to tell you, so Everton, they would have had a 6 points deduction due to the decision by the Federation. Everton in all, they lost 8 points, right? And Nottingham Forest, they were deducted 4 points due to also a decision by the Federation. And of course, just in case we get to this point tomorrow, which I don't see happening or might happen in terms of not the first and second, but maybe the fifth, sixth, seventh place teams. It says in the event two or more teams have an equal number of points, the following rule breaks a tie. So goal difference is where they will go first. And of course, the second thing is the goal scored. So that is really what is going on in the English Premier League in terms of at the top of the table. So this is how it goes. If Manchester City wins, they win the league. If Arsenal wins, they have to hope that Manchester City loses so they can win the league. If Manchester City draws and Arsenal draw their game as well, Manchester City will win based on goal difference currently. So that's really all the gymnastics right now as it relates to the teams. So right now, if Arsenal want to win the English Premier League, they have to win and hope that Manchester City loses. And in terms of the games tomorrow, Arsenal, they will play Everton, Brentford, they will play Newcastle, Brighton, they will play Manchester United, Burnley, they will play Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, they will play Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, they'll play Aston Villa, Liverpool, they'll play the Wolves, Luton, they'll play Fulham, Manchester City, they'll play West Ham, who they've never lost to in for a lot of seasons now, and Sheffield United, they will play Tottenham. And of course, in this final day of competition for the English Premier League, all the games will kick off at 10 a.m. Yeah, so exciting stuff. When we come back from the break, though, we're going to be talking about our own local Jamaica Premier League. The finals, they're on tomorrow. So we're going to go for a quick break right here on Sports Talk. But we'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Get a Samsung A05 from Flow for $8,125 or a Samsung A05s for only $9,000. Both come with a free 28-day unlimited social talk and text plan. Now that's great news. Visit a Flow store today. Available while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Ready to experience 6 times more freshness in your clothes? Try Downy Scent Beats. Its fragrance is so amazing, you have to sniff it to believe it. Try Downy Scent Beats today. 6 times more freshness versus using detergent alone.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Lark, long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least. My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 9681632 to find out more about the Lark. Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. on Love 101, you're invited to listen to The Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie. There is life beyond the surface, life that is divine, life that is eternal, and you can hear the truth of God's Word and go deeper in purpose. Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie, Sundays 2:30 to 3 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And we continue with our preview of the Jamaica Premier League finals that's coming up tomorrow at the National Stadium. Finalists Mount Pleasant versus Cavalier. But let's look back at how they actually got to this stage. All right, so last week, Sunday, you had the second leg of the semifinals. Of course, I would have told you last week, Saturday, that the 4 teams that were remaining in the competition, they had played in the first leg to a 1-1 draw. So it was 1-1 between Mount Pleasant and Waterhouse, and also 1-1 between Cavalier and Annette Gardens. All right, so last week matches, at the 5 o'clock match, Mount Pleasant, with 10 men, they were able to defeat Waterhouse by 2-1. And Cavalier, they defeated Annette Gardens by 3-1, which means that Mount Pleasant, they qualified for the finals with a 3-2 aggregate score over Waterhouse, while Cavalier finished on a 4-2 aggregate score over Arnett Gardens. Now, in terms of the finals, and these are the same teams that played in last year's Premier League finals. And it's just to say, and these are the 2 teams also who finished first and second in the table, in the regular season table before we got to the playoffs. Yes, it was Mount Pleasant and Cavalier who were first and second. In terms of the 2 teams, based on the style of play that I saw, I think the teams are evenly matched. I think now it is just, who will give the better performance on the day. I do believe that Cavalier, they feel as if they should have won the title last year. And so they are coming all guns blazing this year. Mount Pleasant, they have a fantastic program down there in St. Anne, and they too have the feeling that they are able to, having finished the regular season in first position in the standings, they have the feeling that they will be able to secure the championship tomorrow. Now, in terms of what will make the major difference? Of course, Mount Pleasant, they will be without Shaquille Dial tomorrow, as he got a red card in the game last week. So, and I think that's a big blow as it relates to Mount Pleasant. But one thing about this Mount Pleasant side, they are a very well oiled machine, very good in terms of how they play, very disciplined team for the most part. Yeah. And I can say the same thing for Cavalier as well, which is why I feel like the teams, in my opinion, um, it will just it will come down to the person or the team who wants it more, and of course the tactics between Theodore Tapper Whitmore and Rudolph Speed. And there were some issues last week in the semifinals, not so much in the, I mean, other than the red card, but not so much in the Mount Pleasant Waterhouse game, but definitely in the Arnett Gardens Cavalier game. The game was delayed because who want to play with what ball, who is home team, and that delayed the start of the game. And then during the game, shortly after, Cavaliers scored the first goal, and then an Arnett Garden player got a yellow card. Then bottles started, being thrown onto the field. And for me, I was like, honestly, watching it, I was like, I thought we were like past this stage of throwing bottles. I mean, and it was not even plastic bottles. Some of them were glass bottles. And I'm like, the players themselves had to be like asking the crowd to like not be throwing stuff. And I'm like, I think that when you go to a football game, it is now time for us to get serious. I suspect, at the National Stadium, glass bottles and such they're not allowed. Literally no weapons allowed at the National Stadium. And I'm hoping that the the fans, spectators, that they'll be on their best behavior, because it is not good to see that we are trying to build a league, and because a card or a player or whatever does not go into in your favor, that like you're gonna be throwing bottles. I kind of felt very sad watching it last week, because I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, I thought we passed this stage in terms of where we are in football. I mean, the Premier League, professional league, they've done a good job in terms of getting organized, and the sponsors that have come on. And there's so much work that went on during the season. So to see that have happened, or to see that happening in a semifinals, was a bit disappointing. But I'm sure the proper channels and the regulations will be put in place tomorrow at the National Stadium, so we don't have a repeat. Before the finals, though, tomorrow, the third place playoff will happen between Arnett Gardens and Waterhouse. So that's two exciting games to look forward to tomorrow at the National Stadium. Of course, I say, if you can, this is our local football. So if you can, even if you're an Arsenal fan and your side don't win tomorrow, come to the National Stadium tomorrow, so that your heart can be okay. And if it is that you're a Manchester City fan and your side wins tomorrow, still come to the National Stadium so you can enjoy some football. So I'm definitely looking forward to the Jamaica Premier League finals between Mount Pleasant and Cavalier. These two teams, as I said, very either I can't say that there's any player since watching for the season that really stands out on both teams. I think through and through, they're 11 versus 11, easily matched. Of course, I would say Dyer getting that red card. We'll see how that will prove for Mount Pleasant. The two teams, they kind of sometimes have defensive laps. So let's see how many goals can get through. I mean, Mount Pleasant, they play very ball on the ground, very, tactical football, and so does Cavalier. Their style of play is very, very similar. And so, with two teams going up against each other that are similarly matched, I'd say tomorrow is going to be an exciting game. Wherever you are, I'd say go and check out the Jamaica Premier League finals. This is our chance to support local stuff. I know we always look to supporting the international stuff, but this is our opportunity to go out and support local football. And I'm hoping that we will go get a chance and do that. And of course, these teams will have also qualified for the CONCACAF Club, Caribbean Club. So this wouldn't be the last time we'll see them, but of course the Premier League or Jamaica Premier League will culminate tomorrow at the National Stadium. I'll tell you what time the match is, and I'll also tell you in terms of, so you can get the ticket online, or you can get them at the JFF office, or you can get them at Draxall at the Boot Service Station or Western Sports. I'm hearing that the tickets in Portmore, they've been sold out already. So you can get a chance to get the tickets there. But as I said again, exciting match coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, I want to tell you what time the game is gonna start, because we're gonna have the third place. They're gonna have third place playoff first happening. As I said, that will be between Arnett Gardens and Waterhouse. So that game will go off first, and then so that game will go off at 3:00, and then the finals will go off at 6:30. So we're definitely looking forward to that, and just looking forward to the combination of what has been, in my opinion, a very, 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 very good season for the Jamaica Premier League. And of course, we'd have seen improvements in just how the league is being run. Hats off to the Jamaica players. Yeah, those people. Yeah, man. The JPFL. Yes, them. Hats off to them and the fantastic work that they've done throughout the season. And of course, we'll hopefully get a talk with them next week after the finals. And of course, they'll be able to tell us what teams, the teams that would have been or are being promoted to the Jamaica Premier League for next season. So yeah. All right, so we're gonna go for another break on Sports Talk, and when we come back, we have some athletics to talk about, and we have some basketball to talk about. So stay with us. We'll be right back here on the family station, Love 101.
Simplified CDD or simplified customer due diligence requirements make it easier for customers that are assessed as being low risk for money laundering to open accounts, as fewer documents are required for customer identification and verification. This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Why suffer from heartburn, gas, upset stomach, or indigestion? Get fast, effective, long-lasting relief from Benjamin's Antacid. Benjamin's Antacid works faster than a hot cup of tea. Benjamin's, the trusted name for over a century.
Mindset Conference 2024, the Gospel Edition, Monday to Wednesday, May 20 to 22, at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, with Pastor John Gray, Pastor Travis Green, Dr. Jackie Green, Todd Galmer, Phil Thomas, Minister Marion Hall, Kevin Downswell, Sherry Gardner, Rhoda Isabella, Pastor Junior Tucker, Bishop Everton Thomas, and many more. Join us for dinner, workshop, panel discussion, praise and worship, undiluted word, and concert every night. Mindset Conference. For more info, mindsetconference.org. Get your tickets now.
Alright, we're going to do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype, don't miss the tunes, don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM, grow your mind. Jim, get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving of their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station. Love 101.
Youth connection. Shuboti and them figured he provide everything on vibe people we chat. Shuboti and them figured him alone make we appear when we did chat. Hey, hey. Shuboti.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. I just want to say also, I know we're finished with football, but again, another congratulations to Khadija Bonishaw, who was also the Golden Boot winner for the Women's Super League. So, yeah, congratulations. So, see, she's just doing, she's just really doing amazing stuff. So, again, we wish her a speedy recovery. As we know, she got injured 2 weeks ago. So we're wishing her a speedy recovery. But congratulations, Bonisha, on winning the Golden Boot for the Women's Super League for this season. All right, so we're still going ahead. We are gonna be talking about the NBA playoffs. And haven't things been interesting on the conference sides? All right, so today at 7 p.m., conference semifinals, the Dallas Mavericks, they will play Oklahoma City Thunder. Currently, the Dallas Mavericks, they lead that series 3-2. So it's win or go home for OKC tonight. And so we look forward to that. Another series in terms of, well, this will be tomorrow. The Denver Nuggets will play the Timberwolves, and that series is tied at 3-3. So tomorrow, the winner will take all in the Nuggets versus Timberwolves series, and the New York Knicks, they will play the Indiana Pacers tomorrow. That series is also tied at 3-3. So we are looking forward to those games. Of course, the Boston Celtics, they would have already advanced. They would have already advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals. So they're pretty much waiting, and the Eastern Conference Finals, that will start on Tuesday. Of course, the Western Conference finalists, they're still to be decided, as the four teams are, those games will be played tomorrow. So in terms of the Eastern Conference Finals, either Mavericks or Thunder will play, my bad, either right, let me just get my right. Either Pacers or Knicks will play against the Celtics. And then it will be Timberwolves or Nuggets versus Thunder or Mavs. Right. In terms of Western Conference. So we're definitely looking forward to that. I mean, the games have been very close so far in the NBA playoffs. We've had some blowouts, which is going to happen. So usually, when a team is playing in front of their home ground, you tend to get a better performance from them. So for the series that are tied 3-3, you do expect the team who has home court advantage for them to be giving a better performance, as I've seen so far in the playoffs. So we'll look forward to that. So next week, by the time we meet next week, we would have already completed two games in both the Eastern Conference, and Western Conference playoffs. So by that time, the Eastern Conference finalists, well, other finalists, because as I said, the Boston Celtics, they would have qualified for the Eastern Conference finals so far. So we'll get the team that will play in the finals with them. And of course, on the Western side, still have 4 teams playing for that spot. So that's what's happening in the NBA playoffs. If your team is still in the NBA playoffs, congratulations to your team. My team, yeah, they didn't right. They didn't get this far, but I mean the teams that are left in the playoffs right now, they're not really I would say maybe the Celtics. I know, but I don't know what other teams having like a fan base. I know, in terms of Nikola Jokic on the Denver Nuggets, them having right, Nikola Jokic, uh, the Denver Nuggets, them having that player. But I mean, it's still an interesting time in the NBA playoffs. This is usually the great part of the season, or a fantastic part of the season. So it's the matches are always exciting. Trust me, the matches are always exciting, and it takes a little while to get used to basketball, because I hear people saying, but I don't really understand what they mean by and one and da 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 da, and what does a 3 point and da 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 da. But I'm sure if you just take one of the games, I mean, the commentators and the analysts, they do a very good job in trying to explain how these things work. So that's it as it relates to the NBA playoffs. Of course, I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys as to what team you're supporting. And even if your team is not in it, still tell me what team you are carrying to win the NBA this year. For me, yeah, man, I don't have a team. I don't have a team. I'm just watching it for the fun of basketball. I just want to, the teams that I don't really like, they're no longer in the competition. So I'm okay with anybody with it. Let's just say that, right? My team, they're not there anymore. So I mean, because my team is in the Western Conference area, I am most likely to stick with a team that comes from the Western Conference. But I still kind of have a liking for Boston Celtics. I really like them, but I can deal with them. So if they win, I don't have a problem. So I guess I'm still on the fence, but I'm just watching the basketball for the fun of it right now. And just to be like, come here to tell you guys how the matches are going on. So that's pretty much what it is. This is pretty much what it is for me right now. All right. So last week, so we'll jump right into track and field. Last week, so we'll start with the what I call the well, I'm not gonna say the lesser, because NCAA SEC conference finals that happened last week, and we had good results from our athletes. I think two other standout performances from the NCAA SEC championships would have come from our own Brianna Liston, who ran 10.91 seconds to win the 100 meters finals. And of course, also had a very good performance from Nikisha Price. Brianna Liston, she represents the LSU. And of course, Nikisha Price, she represents Arkansas University. She ran 49.32 seconds to win the 400 meters for women. What does that mean? Of course, we had also Romaine Beckford winning the high jump in, I believe it was 2.20 meters in the high jump. And of course, the Wayne Pinnock, formerly of Kingston College, now at the University of Arkansas, he won the long jump. So we had quite a few winners at the SEC championship last week. on the NCAA circuit. And of course, as the NCAA finals come up, I believe it will be in Eugene, Oregon this year again. We'll see more of our Jamaican athletes on par. And of course, some of these athletes will end their NCAA season and be looking forward to participating at the national trials. As some of them, their aim is also to get to the Olympics. And of course, I think especially Nikisha Price with her 49.32 seconds in that 400-meter finals definitely is signaling. Well, she is the fastest Jamaican over that distance for this season so far, and so is signaling that she wants a spot on that plane to Paris. Brianna Liston, 10.91 seconds, seemed to be, to me, after the race, struggling with an injury and not, I think she finished fourth in the 200 meters. So we're still looking forward to how her coaches will, in terms of their race management, they've really been taking care of Brianna Liston, such a special talent out of LSU. They've really been taking care of her, and it seems as if she's struggling with a little niggle now. So I'm looking forward to how they will manage that injury for the rest of the season for her. So we want to say congratulations. I also saw Therese Roden winning the 800 meters, and that is another section of the NCAA, and so I'm sure I'll see him as well at the NCAA finals. We still have a lot of Jamaicans taking part in the NCAA, so if you are there, then it'll be a good chance to take in the Jamaican athletes. They always do well on the NCAA circuit, and we've seen how some of them have made the transition to being superstars in track and field. So definitely congratulations to them, and just looking forward to the better performances. And then before I go into the Jamaica Invitational, we had the Jamaica Athletics Invitational, which we will close out the show with. Before we go to the break, let's talk about, I've seen Omar McLeod running 13.17 seconds this week at a minute. That for me, impressive, because it means that the 2016 Olympic champion is looking to be on the plane in Paris. And of course, Brittany Anderson, 12.88 seconds earlier at a meet this week, which is indicating to me that she is rounding in form. Brittany Anderson, she would have missed the entire season last year due to a hamstring injury that she picked up early in the season. So she missed the entire season last year, wasn't able to participate. And so to see her come back in her second race, I think her first race, she ran 13.23 seconds. Her second race is now 12.88 seconds. It means to me that she's putting in the work, and she's looking to book her ticket on that plane to Paris. And it is going to be rather interesting, as I told many persons so far this season, the women's 100-meter hurdles. That's going to be one of those events that at national trials, somebody's not going to make it to Paris. I'm telling you, somebody's going to cry Sunday afternoon on June 30. Yeah, man. So June 30? Yeah, man. We're going to be having somebody crying, because we only can take 3. And so many persons so far, yes, June 30, so many persons so far, some of our athletes so far have raised their hand and said, me, but it would all come down to what they will do at the trials. Yes. Great. So we're going to go for a quick break. We're going to go for another break, or final break for the show this week. And of course, when you come back, stay with us as we speak about the Jamaica Athletics Invitational that took part last week at the National Stadium. We'll be right back here on Sports Talk.
Love 101 invites you to set your day before it begins with midnight prayer and praise, Mondays at midnight. It's the third prayer watch, a period of much spiritual activity. You will be strengthened during this time of prayer and praise. Midnight prayer and praise is during the third watch of the night, the time to strengthen yourself spiritually and seek direction. Time to command your day. Midnight prayer and praise, Mondays at midnight through to 3 a.m. early Tuesday morning. 3 hours to set your day with prayers offered in each hour. Midnight prayer and praise is on the family station, Love 101.
Labor Day sale at H&R Rapid True Value, May 10 to 26. Save big on farm ply, tiles, bathroom combos and fixtures, paint and accessories, tools and selected building supplies, and more. Hurry while stocks last. Conditions apply. Start right. Start here. H&R Rapid True Value.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Like long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least. My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 9681632 to find out more about the line. Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. on Love 101, you're invited to listen to The Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie. There is life beyond the surface, life that is divine, life that is eternal, and you can hear the truth of God's Word and go deeper in purpose. Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie, Sundays 2:30 to 3 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Of course, we're heading into our final segment of the show. Fantastic, yes. And it is all about track and field, yes. So, last week, Saturday, at the National Stadium, there was the Jamaica Athletics Invitational. And of course, I would have encouraged you to come out to the meet, but just in case you missed it, I was there to take it in for you. And so overall, I think the meet went well. I have mixed feelings in terms of how it is that they did just the people would say minor, but I don't call these issues minor. So in terms of like spectator entering, there was like it wasn't as smooth as I would have wanted it to be in terms of my overall review of the meet. No, so there was, I guess, I wouldn't say confusion, just not enough happening at the gates in terms of entry for the meet, and I would have loved for that to be a smoother process. I'm not sure if they didn't expect so many persons to come to the meet. I'm surprised because you had so many big names. I mean, not the biggest names, but big names of track and field at the meet. So I was a bit confused as to why they didn't kind of prepare for the crowd that actually turned out. But those who actually turned out, I want to say a big, I guess it's not a thank you because it's not my meet, but a big, I guess thank you for coming because it made things great in terms of the meet. I thought that, the grandstand was full. And of course, bleachers was free. So I was a little like, are people gonna turn out because beaches is free? We had a good crowd in the National Stadium, and the athletes, you definitely could see that they actually felt the energy of the crowd from the meet. So yeah, was great. So let's kick into the results now. So in the men's 400 meter hurdles, that was won by Malik James King. 48.39 seconds Of course, he would have defeated Karen McMaster of the BVI, who finished second in 49 seconds. In the women's 400 meter, that was won by the USA's Alexis Holmes. And she looked pretty good. In the 200 meter for men, that was won by Zainel Hughes, 19.96 seconds. That was a very, very good race. The 400 meters, that was won by Matthew Hudson Smith of the of let me get this right now, because sometimes I get this incorrect. Great Britain, yeah, man, that's what they are when they are at the Olympics. Great Britain. I almost said England. The 200 meters was won by Dina Asher Smith in 22.51 seconds. Toby Amusan, she won the women's 100 meter hurdles in 12.40 seconds. Ramona Burchell, she won I would say the B 100 meters in 11.57 seconds. Jaden Hibbert, young sensation Jaden Hibbert, and of course I would have talked about him coming into this meet, jumped 17.57 meters, which is the world leading outdoor jump, because the jump of 17.61 seconds was actually, the world leading jump, 17.61 seconds, that was actually done indoor. Right. In the women's 100 meter, that was won by Marie Jose Talou of the Ivory Coast. She won that in 10.91 seconds. The discus was won by Travis Michael in 66.89 meters. The triple jump woman, that was won by Shanika Ricketts of Jamaica in 14.50 meters. Raymond Richards of Jamaica won the high jump in 2.24 meters. Brian Lavelle, he won the 100 meter B finals in 10.15 seconds. And Julian Fort, he won the 100 meters A finals in 10.02 seconds. Right. And I think that really, that's really all the places that, the winners last week, Saturday. But let's talk about my race of the meet, which I didn't talk about a while ago, which is kind of strange. So we had two world leading times last week. One coming from she now has become, I think, based on her personality and just what she about things, Rochelle Clayton. Yes, she won the 400 meter hurdles for women. Definitely Rochelle is slowly becoming one of my favorite athletes in track and field. Just the way how she goes about, always giving her best performance. She won in a world leading time, I believe, of 49.25 seconds, right? The 400 meter hurdles. And of course, another stand-up performance from the meet definitely would have come from Toby Amusan, the world record holder in the 100 meter hurdles. Another standout, of course, Jaden Hibbert with his jump of 17.57 meters, and that was from an 8-step jump. Okay, so people are like, yeah, what do you mean by 8-step, 10-step, 12-step? So in triple jump, the 8-step would have been his shortest run. And if he's jumping 17.57 meters with 8 steps, yeah, man. I'm just hoping that he stays injury free and his training continues to go well, because trust me, when he gets to 12 steps in Paris, it's over. It's gotta be over, okay? Gotta be over. It was just good seeing him here. And of course, he will be back for the Racers Grand Prix, which comes up in a few weeks at the National Stadium. So if it is that you didn't get to attend the Jamaica Athletics Invitational and you still want to see your athletes before the Olympic trials, come again. I'm encouraging you to come to these meets, as these meets really just give you a chance to see our best athletes giving their best performance on the day. And so for me, the Jamaica Athletics Invitational, I'm hoping that after this inaugural one, that they will be able to continue to attract stars. Of course, one of the, I would say, off track highlights of the Jamaica Athletics Invitational was the presence of the world champion, Shakari Richardson of the USA, as she was in the stands. And it was interesting to see her coming to Jamaica to be a spectator at this meet. I mean, we know she's training in Florida, and so Jamaica is not that far, from Florida. It's a 45 minutes plane ride. And of course, she has the money to do it. So it was good to see her in the stands. Of course, some of her own teammates or they participated in the meet. So I suspect she was here to support them, and it was good to have her. Overall, I think the Jamaica Athletics Invitational in its inaugural staging, I would have given the performances I'd say 8 out of 10. And that's just because as a track and field fan, you're always looking forward to, big performances. But we had big performance because we ended the meet with two world's leading times. And I mean, the races were good. The meet was run for the most part on time. Had a little issue in the 100 meters for men, and I think that affected the time. I think this is probably 4 times there was after four restarts in that one race. So I mean, I say after the first time, after a false start or whatever, you don't get the true race from the athlete. It's always they're gonna sit back in the blocks and try to not get disqualified. So with that being said, I mean, the event was a very, very, very good event. Hoping that they will be able to bring up bigger superstars or attract bigger stars next year. I'm sure Talu will be back. I'm sure Dina Asher Smith will be back. The reception that they got from the crowd at the National Stadium was nothing short of just amazing, and those two ladies just amazing. And we you could see that it was not even like a Jamaica versus anything. It was any athlete who came, they gave them the biggest cheers, they supported them in the triple jump for women, in the triple jump for men. You could see that the crowd that was there, they were, I would say, real athletics fans. That's what it felt. And I'm hoping that we are able to create more opportunities for these athletics fans to come out locally to support our athletes. So I mean, it was a good meet. I pretty much was very, very much excited from the beginning to the end. Of course, they had some performances at the end as well. I kind of put the icing on the cake. So that was, to me, a very, very good meet by the Jamaica Athletics Invitational. Before we go, because we have about a minute, but before we go, I just want to say Cricket Love the Cricket will be on at the Sabina Park, yeah, man. This is our chance to see the West Indies squad since we're not getting any T20. I tell you guys, this is our T20 championships for this year. So the West Indies team, they will play this week, Wednesday. So the matches will be Thursday, which is Labor Day, Thursday, the 23rd, the 25th, which is Saturday, and the 26th, which is Sunday. So go out, support our West Indies team. They will be playing South Africa. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of you there at Sabina Park. It's been an honor in terms of sports talk. Thank you so much for tuning in this week, and catch me same time, same place next week right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. This has been Sports Talk. Bye. Thank you so much, Kareem, always for facilitating me like this. Great. Have a great weekend, everyone.